things I with a passion. I told they goons I with a passion. I told they goons I with a passion. I told they goons I with a passion. I with a passion.
like Ali with no gloves. Pussy shove the rise above nonsense. Lyrics are able. Turntable spins round and round we go. Going for Delph, you know Dolo with L flow, yo. Hold your fat beats like this. A pocket full of grip, mic in my fist, no bullshit. I'm all at it and some, hun. Blow up like a shotgun. Any MC that disagrees, done your best run. I creep and I crawl and I yes and I y'all and I refuse to fall. So all in all, the God works hard. I practice my verbal gymnastics to get your girl on my mattress. I love to hit it hard from the back. I'm the man with the plan. You can't disagree with that. MCs disagree, that's why they whack. I do them something terrible, I'm incredible like the edible egg. Arm, leg, arm, head. Who's the dread that said boom, da-da? His flavor, it don't matter. Swing batter, knock 'em out the park after dark. I spark L's, write rhymes to exercise my brain cells. Count the cash in my stash. Cash, money. I got a seed to feed, and like most of touch and greed, getting paid completes the cipher. Being broke is like having no blunts. Just a lighter. It's about the dead president, the nines, and I am the nine, getting mine, no crime. Came a long way like Virginia Slims, from beat-down Timbs to co-op cribs and G-foot rims, from faux chicken wings and rice to lobster with champagne, no ice. Now everything is lovely, alright? Nothing can stop me now, I'm on the prowl. You can play the Indian, but there's no how. I'm the one and only incredible original nine. Like the sun will shine, I will always rhyme. Like Pam Grier is fine, I get smile like 2 nickels is a dime. Prime time like a new crime. The church bells will chime when I stand at the pulpit, and like Eric give a sermon, that money I'm earning. Remember, the saint ain't as great as the sender. Like Steve Boogie Brown, I was born on the 19th day of September. 9, the #1 contender.
Break into cybersecurity but don't have experience.
Hey, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. I was hearing everything prior, but I can't hear you. Oh,
There we go.
nah, I was about to take off my headphones to sound a little bit more crisp.
No,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm gonna move this fan too. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, real professional over here. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out when I was playing a song because I was like, I cannot get this mic to work. Anyway, how are you?
Good. You look good. Thank you for.
Oh, you look good. You look very relaxed. You're very. It's picturesque.
Yeah, this is I brought New York City with me.
I see. Okay, and you're in New York right now, right?
I'm in Texas. I'm in
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
Well, like I just became public with it. I've been here for 4 years, and
You
so I
just went public with being in Texas.
on the low. I've been low over here, but yeah, I'm in Texas. I fly back and forth,
Okay, so
and when
is
I
that
do,
were you kind of quiet about it because it's like New York is part of like your musical identity, sort of, or just because
it
you don't want
is.
people to find you, or
I was quiet about it because it's peaceful here, and it's just like I don't want to be bothered unless it has to do with music and entrepreneurship and advancements.
right? Yeah. Yes. Well, that's good. I'm not gonna ask you what part of Texas then, because it's a big state. But
No,
I'm, well, yeah. Cool.
Dallas, Houston.
Okay. Okay.
It's no,
Someone.
it's not.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not any of those.
Oh.
Where
Okay. What did you say?
I said, where are you?
Oh, my bad. I'm in Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cutting out a little bit. Someone in the comments, Divinity Eddie Vina said yes. You're cutting out a little bit. What'd you say?
I said, what's up, Monique? That's my homegirl.
There you go. It might be the internet.
I'm not sure. I mean, I have it on the phone, but I'm gonna try to put on my other headset as well. Let's see.
Maybe.
I don't even hear you through my headset though. Like
Oh, well, I don't know then.
in my,
It's I think it's
but
whenever our voices like cross paths.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I was going to ask you one of the most interesting things I saw on your bio. I think it was Spotify. It said that you were actually scouted or something like that, or they tried to sign you at Raucous when you were like what 12?
Yeah. So you've heard. Many people have heard of them. They did. So I have older brothers, three older brothers, and my aunt, common law aunt. She's not really my aunt, but I called her that. Was engaged to Heavy D, Dwight Howard. Remember?
Wow.
Yeah. So she was engaged to him, so we had that connection, and they had me record a demo on cassette deck and presented it to Raucous and brought the contract to my mom, and she was like, "Hell no," you know. She's 12 years old, and I was mortified, but I'm glad she did that. Looking back.
Right. Right. Looking back, because do you know if whether it was a good deal or not?
I don't even know. I didn't see the contract. I don't know. My brother was just like he was playing manager,
Hmm.
and I got you a record deal. And I remember him having the conversation with my mom. And my mother was, she moved to this country when she was 18 from the Dominican Republic. And she was very exotic looking. Back then in New York City, there weren't many Caribbean. She was a little darker skinned with my kind of hair. And
Right.
so there weren't many people who looked like her. And she was tall. So she became a fashion model.
Wow.
And I have some print photos of her. I don't have any video, but she was a runway fashion model, and she said she would have to. In order to grow, they wanted her to sleep her way to the top. So she was protecting me.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Did she come here to model?
No,
Okay.
didn't.
She just came to New York and somebody saw her and said, "Hey, kid, you got what it takes." Like, you know, that
I
kind of
guess
thing.
she was a driver as well, and then she put herself in college, got a PhD in psychology.
Wow.
that she did all of that. So I'm like, if she can do it, learned another language, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I love it. That's a really cool story. That's really interesting. So after I guess you turned 18, did you like? And I think Raucous was disbanded by then. You know,
Yeah,
like
I
6 years.
did.
Yeah.
If they did, they were more underground. So when I was 17, Nina came to scout some town at South Carolina, where I was.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you good. It's cutting out a lot. I think my are you on Wi-Fi?
I
You are?
yeah,
Okay. Are you close to your router?
my router was upstairs,
Oh, okay.
but I normally don't have any issues. This is yeah. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, you're fine. Oh, I don't know. We'll just roll with it. I'll just if I interrupt you, I don't mean to.
Okay.
But what were you saying though?
Well, when I was 17, I was scouted by Wilhelmina at USC in South Carolina. And again, I was underage. And again, my mother did not sign the contract. So I had two major goals when I was a teenager. It was music and it was modeling.
Mm.
And turned 18, to answer what you asked me earlier, I went in New York City and went knocking on, all the agency doors, and they said, you're beautiful. How much do you weigh? How tall are you? I kind of added 1 inch, but how
Yeah.
tall? And they said, how old are you? And I said 18, and they said, I'm so sorry. You have to be at least 17 or younger. So I
Wow.
cried. I cried my way back home, and then I gave up that dream. And so I pursued music. And with music, my cousins and I built a recording studio. It was a really good studio. It's not like we have now. It's just the computer and the microphone.
Right.
It was. We had two insulated booths. Known artists, known rappers would go and record there, and I was always in front of the microphone. I was never behind the board back then. And then we kind of just tried to grow then, but when there's more than two, three's a crowd, everyone disagreed, and so whatever opportunities we had, my one of my cousins was always pulling those shows, and he was doing with the music. He was the engineer and the producer, and
Mm.
so I didn't give it up, but I had my child. I had my child, and I want to raise her. I want to focus and raise her, single mother, and that's what I did. And as soon as she came of age, which was about 3 years ago, I just started making music again. I made my first beat. I had never made a beat after watching the Kanye documentary.
Oh, really?
You know what? I never knew how to Junja. How do you pronounce it?
Ooh.
Whatever it's called. I watched all 3 episodes. The very first episode that aired, I grabbed my iPhone and I went on GarageBand and I learned how to make my first beat. And a lot of the music that I made uh, earlier within these 4 years were made off my phone and recorded off of my phone. It's
Wow.
crazy.
There's so many parallels there between like me and you, and it sounds like probably around the same time frame because okay, for like younger people watching or maybe some straight guys. No, even straight guys, they would know that if they grew up around that time. Like modeling, like models were like celebrities.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And there was even like shows on like VH1, MTV, like ABC, CBS, NBC, everything about models and like following them around. Like, oh, look at them. What are they doing? Who are they dating now? Like, oh, she's smoking a cigarette over here, and oh, she's ODing over there. It's just like, it was really just like a big celebrated thing. And so almost every little girl, teenager wanted to be a model.
Yeah. Cindy Crawford. Remember Cindy?
What, House of Style?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like me, my parents actually took me to an agency that was like for kids because I was a kid, and it ended up being like kind of a scam. But I have these terrible calling cards that they made me that are just like I look like olive oil because I was so skinny back then because I wasn't eating because I wanted to be a model.
Right.
And yeah, spent all my money on fashion magazines. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I zero trying to be a model. My daughter, I took her on a whole bunch of those auditions that you were taken to, but she would do great. She would do great when she would be practicing with me, rehearsing, and as soon as she would go on, she'd freeze. She
Yeah,
likes camera. Yeah.
same with me. And uh, the agency, it was like their big claim to fame was they had Jonathan Taylor Thomas from was it Full House? Not Full House. Was it Tim the Toolman show?
Cool.
Uh,
Oh,
Home Improvement.
yeah.
So their big claim to fame, they had posters of him everywhere. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, JTT. Like, okay. Kind of aiming for like Milan, but whatever. But yeah, and GarageBand as well because I like make everything in GarageBand or Logic. So but yeah, so sorry,
I've never used Logic.
it's GarageBand, but it's like you pay for it.
Okay.
You can get well, yeah, I can say that you can get free trials over and over, which is what I do.
Yeah, I like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. Like I don't know why people sleep on it. It's really easy, and a lot of big producers use Logic, so it's like, hey, same thing. So, besides the whole Raucous thing, have you ever been signed, or have you always been independent?
I have never been signed. I've never been signed, and I don't know the way that the game is moving now. I don't know that I want to. Of course, if someone offered me like all this crazy amount of money, I'm not gonna decline the offer. But for 50,000, I
Yeah,
mean, do I want to commit to that? It's don't deny the offer, anyone listening, because I would have to think about it. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I honestly don't necessarily even want to be an artist. I I love writing songs. My thing is songwriting and just writing in general.
right.
Um, so if I have to be an artist in order for that dream to come true, then that's what I'm gonna do. But ultimately, I envision myself being well branded, and I see how the celebrities can charge for their presence. That's what I want to do. I just want to charge for my. You want me to show up here? Just give me 2 G's. I'll
Yeah,
go. That's all.
as like a producer though, rather than an artist, just to be known for that.
No, I
No.
would. No, if I would take artistry before production because I'm a beat maker, I
Hmm.
wouldn't consider myself to be a producer
Okay.
level.
I mean, there's a lot of like megastar producers nowadays. Like, you know,
And
they kind of.
ones,
Sorry, go ahead.
a lot of upcoming good ones. I mean,
Hmm.
although I produce myself, I've never produced anyone else, so I can't call myself a producer.
I got you. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can because, like, do you know who JPEG Mafia is?
Yeah,
Yeah, he does all his own production. I don't. For the longest time, I don't think he did. I know he has in the past, like maybe a couple of years, but he's usually on the project as well. So I'm trying to think of other ones. I guess Kanye maybe at first.
yeah, Kanye.
Um,
He was not going to give up, and that's how I feel. I'm like in the stage now where everything seems to be going wrong, right? But history always repeats itself. I see other people's stories, and it's just like everything's hitting me left and right. Not necessarily within the music industry, just in life
mhm.
generally. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This this is the moment that I need to grasp. This is what everyone goes through. Thank you, God.
You hear that, everybody? What that is the most fantastic attitude to have about it, because like Yeah, same. Honestly, like in the last couple months, I've had the most success and the most failures of my entire life at once, at the same time. It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
yep, it happens. And
Yep.
then to success, your ups and downs, it's gonna the success is gonna outweigh because you're doing what you need to do, which is consistency. You
hmm
know,
And plus, when I think you're like meant to do something, quote unquote, and it just comes to you naturally, and you kind of get in your lane, you get on a roll or whatever you want to call it. It's just things just kind of unfold because people start to notice. So,
moving that wave.
hmm exactly. Um, so again, with the raucous thing, I just think that's really interesting because there's such a that was like sort of like not underground, not underground. You know what I mean? Like I was all the way in Denver at the time, like 90. What was that? Their heyday was like maybe 97 to 2000, 2001.
Yeah, around that before then,
Yeah,
because
before
it
then.
was about to be signed. I think it was 92,
Oh, okay. They were just
93.
starting out then, I think.
Yeah, and maybe they were just locally known in New York City.
That probably had something to do with it. Yeah. Because sound bombing was like how most of me and my friends found out about it. And that's how we got introduced to like Eminem and Ari the Rugged Man and all that stuff.
Sound bombing.
Yeah. Rock is, you never heard of it?
I'm not embarrassed. I've never heard of
No,
it.
there's no gatekeeping over here. No. But that was like the big thing. Like there's sound bombing one, sound bombing two, and on let me pull it up. Yeah, the second one was probably the more popular one, maybe because the first one, I don't know. Let's see. There's an Eminem song on here that's like one of the first songs that he released on a label, I believe. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, here it is. Grab it. Oh my gosh, these guys. All right.
Hi. Original bad boy on the case, cover your face. Came into place, blood
Have you heard this before?
No.
Okay.
and sprayed puffy with mace. I lace the weed when it's sec repellent. Better check to smell it. Eminem starts with E. Better check to spell it with a capital. Somebody grabbing a Snapple. I got an aspirin capsule trapped in my Adam's apple. Somebody dropped me on my head, and I'm for sure that my mother did it, but the bitch won't admit it was her. I slit her stomach open with a scalpel when she was 6 months and said, I'm ready now, bitch. Ain't you feeling these kicks, cunt?
Same old Eminem.
Yeah, it sounds like fifth. What is it? Fifth miles. What fifth?
Oh, oh, I don't remember.
5 miles. What's the name of the movie?
I can't remember.
Something miles.
Yeah, something miles. Is it 5 Mile? Because
I
I'm
think
not familiar with Detroit. I've never been there. I don't
yeah.
know. Let me
My
just type in that movie.
them songs is nail in the coffin, man. When he came out with that,
8 Mile.
yeah, 8 Mile. Why did
I
I say nail in the coffin? And then I think it came out right after Ether, kind of like right after. It was just like these
was
guys.
it this? I'm not a big Eminem follower. Was the
Yeah.
Nail in the Coffin? That was a diss. Who is it for?
Who's your favorite
Who's my
artist?
favorite? Is that what you said?
Your favorite rapper?
I don't have a favorite. That's too hard. I can't pick one.
That's like me when people ask me who were you influenced by? I give them genres because I was influenced by so many people. So I just start listing genres. But my favorite rapper overall, if I had to absolutely select one, would be
Mhm. Nas,
yeah.
excellent choice. Like I don't like all hip hop's always like the conversation about the top 5, the top 10, and I get it, but it's so played out in a way to me. But if I had to put Nas anywhere, he'd be in probably my top 5. Tanya Jolly was saying, yeah, I don't know what it is either. Is it a mixtape? It is. Sound Bombing is a mixtape. Yeah, kind of. It's just a collective. What were you saying?
Okay.
Yeah, someone in the comments was asking that. It's like, because I think isn't technically a mixtape when you use other people's beats or like other songs' beats. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like a collective, like the DJ Premier, New York Reality Check type stuff.
Yeah. Premiere.
Mm.
So my song that I remember recording. I'm not sure if it was the first one, but I remember the moment when I was writing and instrumental. You remember the cassette decks had the single on one side and then the instrumental on the other side. So I
Mm-hmm.
instrumented it, and it was New York State of Mind. Yeah, and it was
Yeah, I read that in your bio too. Yeah.
yeah, it was something like if I could remember the first bar, then I could. Sometimes I go through. Oh my gosh, I was so rebellious, and my mom and I like. I don't like to be told what I didn't like to be told what to do. I still don't like to be told what to
Same.
do.
Same.
And when like sometimes I go through the shifty situation, swinging at my mom Dukes when I'm misbehaving. I never did that, but she don't. So it's unbelievable when something like it was just so. It was so.
Is that on anything? Like, is it on YouTube or anything?
No, no, no. I just kind of remembered that when I throw on my jacket, she follows me around trying to observe as if some issues going down, but that's all right. Cause she don't know my flavor. Whatever she does won't stop my misbehavior. It was so so
Oh my goodness.
so funny. How did I even remember that? That's funny. I probably have it in because I've tried every time I've moved. I bring all of my VHSs and cassettes but I just need to sit down and listen to them one day.
Yeah. Um, so how tall are you? And have you done like modeling or acting like since then? Like since you decided to stop?
Yeah, I'm 5. You're supposed to be 5'8", but I'm 5'7", and I've done a lot of acting. I did some off Broadway theater.
Oh wow.
Yeah, several plays, and I've done acting. I used to work for Univision Radio and TV.
Oh
So
cool.
audition, I would just be at the right place at the right time. Someone would pull a no-show. All my director friends with the red cameras would be like, I had my own agency. I had my own agency and female only. And besides getting the females to like hover around the bottle service tables at the club to kind of bring the guys in to buy the bottles, also put them in commercials and music videos. Jim Jones music video with Redman um,
Wow.
and sometimes the girls will pull a no show. So in that case, I would have to put on the mini skirt and play the part.
Right.
Part, yeah. So I did a lot of that, commercials and things like that in independent film.
Is there like a particular music video we can pull up? Like a old like Redman or Jim Jones
Go
video?
look up LDJ and Jim Jones, the baseline.
Okay, I know that one.
That one, I'm only in the very beginning. Actually, not the baseline. Pull up Raquel Reed. Raquel Reed, and it's no known. Raquel Reed is a public figure. She has her own makeup line. She used to be my
Okay.
room. She's
Okay.
and we rented a room in a music recording studio. So we rented rooms, and there was this music recording studio. Eventually, they renovated it and constructed a $700,000 studio, and we moved there like in a new house, and we moved into there, and we were all just renting rooms. Mind you, I had my daughter by then already. She was in elementary school, so
Hmm.
I raised my daughter in that way, renting a room in one room of a music recording studio house, and all these major artists. Now at this point I'm talking about DJ Marley Marr, like not
Yeah.
just like a lot of people who I got to know through living there, through that
Mhm.
situation. And then I knew people prior to that, but I really met some really cool known and unknown people living there. So Raquel Reed, I'm like one of the prostitutes in the beginning.
Wait, so Raquel Reed is the name of the song?
No, it's called
Okay. It's called what?
Do It Dirty. Do It Dirty.
I pulled up her YouTube, and the first thing I see is she's at a burlesque show in my hometown of Denver.
All right, so pull up 38 Special Mother and Gun, that 30-minute short film that he did. I'm the
Yeah.
nurse. I'm the nurse in the very beginning with Shay Noor and Marley Marr.
Yeah, that's a newer one, right?
Yeah, that's new. That's new.
Okay.
I could think of off the top of my head right now.
Tell me one more time. What's the name of the song?
It's called Mother and Gun by 38 Special. It's the put Mother and Gun movie.
Got
30.
it. So the movie, not just the.
Yeah, it's like a 30-minute, but I'm at the, luckily for us right now, where I'm at the very beginning, like the first
Okay, I got it.
mask, because I'm a nurse.
I love it. And shout out to
King Handsome.
Yes, King Handsome. My brain is not good right now.
Yeah,
Who actually like hooked this interview up?
absolutely. I was in the show. Asked me what was my next thing that I was releasing.
Right. You want to go ahead and talk about it?
Sure. So we have this collabo project, which is amazing. It's called UFO. I'm very excited about it. We eventually will do a music video for it next month. I'm flying out to New York to kill like 20 birds in one stone while I'm out there. And from there, I'm flying to Miami to shoot the episode for Legacy Makers. I'm in an episode of this new television series called Legacy Makers. And it's a highlight of my life and what led me to my entrepreneurship, because I also do own a CMOS company.
A CMOS company.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much about what led to it now, because it's kind of like bloopers. What do you call that? Spoiler alerts, if I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm flying to Miami to shoot out there in their studios, and I'm super excited because since I've started doing this again, this is like the biggest project I've worked on, Legacy Makers. But getting that drops on Juneteenth, and I'm just as excited about that because King Handsome is amazing, and I know that he's going to make me go out there and perform with him. I've got kind of, like, I don't even do open mics anymore. I'm just like, all right, just, distribution. So I need to start doing that, and he will definitely get me out there and start performing that song with him.
Do you like performing at all? Like,
I love it. I've been performing since I was a child, not necessarily vocally, but I played the piano and the violin at Harlem School of Arts in Harlem, New York, and we'd have performances all the time. And then I was in orchestras on the side. My mother had me enrolled in, and we performed at Carnegie Hall.
oh, wow.
And church, I did a lot of solos with the violin. So I'm not a professional musician per se. I'm kind of still stuck at the level that I was at when I stopped playing. And during years, I gave it up, and then my daughter is amazing. Like, she'll go on YouTube and be like, "Oh, no, I can play the ukulele now. Like, I can play the piano. Like, I can play the guitar. How? You never took lessons," and she just learns it off of YouTube. She took violin lessons, but that was it.
That's the exact same as my daughter. That's crazy. Along with the violin lessons.
Wow.
Yeah, like she has an accordion. My parents got her an accordion. She picked that up from YouTube videos, and I got her, like, I think a couple books of sheet music, like, later. Taught herself how to play all these songs on the piano. She's crazy. That's weird. Yeah, right. But as far as, like, performing, like, your music though, like, because you're like, he's gonna make me, go perform this.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of out here in Texas, and then there's one thing that I haven't really shared because I was just so embarrassed. It was horrible. And so I was supposed to open up for Jizza and RZA when they or Genius when they were on their tour, and something happened where it was just out of my control. Everything was not working out. So they're like, all right, you're not going to open up, but you can go during intermission. And I'm like, even better. I was like, yeah, better. Answers, like I was ready. Everyone else was just there, like open mic style. But I had my backup dancers like,
Oh, okay, I got it.
go for me. And all of that happened, and then I'm about to go on. I'm on the top of the stage and about to, do my thing. And the DJ, because the opening DJ had left and had a different laptop, but the Wu-Tang DJ had this fancy schmancy thing, and it was uncompatible with my stick, with my USB. And
Oh,
quickly that I didn't think to ask, okay, can I just email it to you? Because I had it. It was just so quickly. The promoter was just like, it doesn't work. Sorry, we got a certain amount of time. And I lifted up the USB and I'm just like, it just is out of my control.
like to the audience?
I lifted it up. I could just go, this is out
Yeah.
of my
Oh my gosh.
at the audience, and I see all my people there with my DG shirt on, and I'm just so in. And so a known artist, very good friend of mine. I'm not gonna say his name, but I tell him, and I'm just, venting to him, and he goes, you know what? If 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 this is gonna make you not want to do this anymore, then this game isn't for you. This is part of your story. I mean, this was such good words, and I've actually told other people this afterwards. Not saying like using it as my own word, but it's part of your story. When he said that, that just kind of just like it's part of my story, and that's what I love to do is write stories. And when he mentioned the word story, is this is like, yeah, this is part of my story. This is great, and I got forced myself to the next open mic, and that was that.
Wow. I mean, that's not really. I would say that's like someone being pushy and you being nervous because it's like, oh, it's the jizz and the RZA, all that. But that's kind of you roll with the punches. I wouldn't be embarrassed by that.
I was because I promoted it so heavily. I was embarrassed. People paid $60 to get in. My daughter, who never goes anywhere, thank God, I got. She was even. It was just so embarrassing. Now I wasn't embarrassed by her presence, but I felt bad. Like
No, yeah,
whatever. But they got to see a good show still.
yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be embarrassed. All right, we can play this 38 Special video real quick. But I'm excited to see what's it called? Alien?
UFO.
UFO. My bad. Oh, definitely got too much.
Hey yo, Fern, I want you to turn the music up just a little bit, man. That shit feel good, man. Shit remind me of my mother. May she rest in peace, man. You know what I'm saying? Sound like some early morning Saturday shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey yo. It's hard to explain all the pain that the game teaches me. I stopped selling cocaine recently. People see me doing good and you ain't. You can't beef with me.
Are you the nurse?
Oh, I'm the nurse, but
okay, because your head's turned the whole time.
right, because I'm not the star. So Shaynor and 38 rapping. You can't see him here. Are the stars and Orange Juice Jones. You see that guy right there you froze on? Do you remember that song? I saw you and him walking in the rain.
Yes.
That's his son. I don't know. He
Wow.
but I said it. Oh well.
Who's his dad? I'm trying to remember who sings that song.
It's also so he's Orange Juice Jones the second, and his father Orange Juice Jones. He was
Orange Juice Jones is the one that wrote that song. Well,
yeah, Orange. I want to say ORAN.
All right.
And then shot the Sunset behind the camera, who was the one who shot the Our Lady of the Streets video.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually the owner of the recording studio that I was telling you about. So all of my condition. So people complain about this and that, and I sound like an old lady, but just looking back at life, I'm just like, all of these things happened for a reason, for a good reason. You gotta trust the process no matter what you're going through. You just gotta trust the process. Of course, try to get yourself out of a pit, but don't stay there.
Right.
When you're there, dig yourself out. It's
Yeah.
happening.
It's hard sometimes, you know, but definitely like keep your head up. All right. Do you ever see your face in this, or?
I mean, I'm wearing a mask at
Oh,
that.
okay. I was really trying to see one of these older videos where like it's like you had to show up because some, you know, video vixen didn't come and had to like dance on the cars or whatever. But
so you said when you looked at the Raquel Reed thing,
Raquel?
actually, oh my gosh, I remember another scene I'm in that video. Yeah, go to that video.
Wait, which one?
I don't know if they took it down, but it's "Do It Dirty" by Raquel Reed.
Okay.
Do It Dirty.
Do it dirty. I don't have a mic stand, so it's gonna.
A Vegas, I think, burlesque dancer. Like, she's doing more power to her. She was in New York City for a while, and I think she moved to Vegas now or something.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wait, say what?
I'm wearing, in the first scene, I'm wearing a green jacket.
Oh, you know what I bet the issue is with the sound? Go to your settings real quick and turn off like the echo reduction or whatever. Or because sometimes for some people it's like, I completely forgot about that.
Audio, echo canceling.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually, you're quieter now. And there's an echo.
Now I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I just screwed everything up.
Microphone check.
You probably have to change the input in the settings. Sorry, everyone. I screwed it up.
Yeah, I can barely hear you now. Settings.
We could just go back. Oh.
Yeah, I hear you now. So it's either one or the other.
Yeah, now there's like a serious echo. So, my bad. Let's just go back to how it was.
Next time.
Womp womp. Oh, in the settings, can you turn the echo cancellation back on? Oh, sorry.
Audio. All right.
There we go. Dang it. I don't know. Anyway. All right. So you're right here in the beginning?
I'm in the beginning and I'm somewhere towards the end or middle as well.
Okay. Oh, it's rated R.
Oh, look at you. I ain't playing. It's cold. Put yourself right. Over here, man. I got it all right here. Yeah, man. You see, man, they look great, right?
Bobby.
Hold on, man. You got some money?
Bye.
You stay right there. Get my money. Hold on, baby. You can't leave with all my girls.
Were you already on?
Yeah, so I was the one in the green. But I'm gonna come back on. So I'm back.
Okay.
Standing like I'm standing on the block, on my block.
Gotcha.
The scene was horrific here today in the Baychester section of the Bronx, police say. This brings the homicide total to 37. Police are urging residents to stay alert and contact authorities if anyone spots suspicious activities. Although police haven't gotten many clues, they say the killer stabbed his victims and then had his final meal with them. Back to you, John. Pay attention.
This isn't like actually rated R, is it? Are they going to show like
No, but forward, if you forward it, there's a scene where I'm like wearing forward.
Past the credits.
Is it the credits? How could the credits be all the way in the middle?
Oh,
Go back to like a multi-female bed.
oh, multi-female. But oh, I see it. Maybe.
Yeah.
No. Here we go. Maybe. I keep seeing it for a second.
Right.
This it? I don't know.
Give it to me nasty, give it to me dirty, give it to me girl to be soaking wet. That ain't even a halfway kiss.
What'd you say?
Wasn't that butt naked girls?
What is it?
Did you see it? The scene.
Yeah.
It's longer than that, but I don't know what minute it's. Okay.
There,
There.
there you are.
No, you got a man that'll treat you right. I love it and live it. I'm loving to give it to her. And her body is bubbling hot as a pressure cooker. And she be going wow, pinning me down on the bed. Even when she wasn't around, couldn't get it out of my head. When she said,
I like this music video. It's campy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Chris Pinset again, the same dude, the same. Yeah, the man behind the cameras.
Cool. We actually have a surprise guest coming on, if that's okay.
Of course, I love surprises. Who?
Okay, you do? Okay, good. This is one of the, and I'm not sure if he's ready because his camera's not on, but he's one of our showcase participants when we went to New Orleans. I might give him a second. Well, let's see.
Yeah, no, I'm here. My camera's on. I thought when knowing it was a podcast, I just assumed there was no video
Oh, okay.
here.
No, show your pretty face. Hey, how you doing? It's still light out.
What's up? What's popping, people? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
So, DG, am I saying your name right? Kalivas?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, and this is Nigerian ATF?
Yes, Nigerian ATF. Got it
There
right.
you go. And
Nice to meet you.
yeah.
What's that?
So she's from New York and she lives in somewhere in Texas,
Hey, I
undisclosed.
love New York. Hate Texas, but love New York.
Right. I've never been. And he's in New Orleans, born and raised. So have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have.
Yeah. It's
How
it's
drunk did you get?
I didn't go for Mardi Gras or anything. I don't really like crowds, you know. I don't
Don't
like
go to Mardi Gras.
I get like parades and stuff. I can't do it.
Do not
I
go to
can
Mardi Gras.
understand that. What were you doing here? Work or something?
What?
Were you here for work or something? 'Cause there's always a crowd out here somewhere. That's why I stay in the house.
I was.
What is it?
Gotcha.
What'd you say, DG?
I said, yeah, I was there for work. When
Okay.
they flew me out there for a weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. We were just talking about music and music videos and stuff like that. Now, Nigerian, I don't know if you've done any like acting or anything, had you? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, actually, believe it or not, I'm a trained actor. I went to a lot of like private acting classes as a kid. I was trying my hand at acting a bit when I was in LA. I'm just one of those people. I think the thing that terrifies me is because I have such a unique personality. I didn't want to deal with the crossover of trying to come from being an actor to then being an artist. I feel like that crossover is a lot harder than the other way around.
Really?
And didn't want to get locked into a certain persona or being a certain person, and then I feel like that would have affected my music career. But I have done some acting. I have.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. And I do want to play some of your music, DG. I don't know. Do you have a preference?
Let's play Our Lady of the Streets. We have a music video for it. Our Lady of the Streets.
Perfect. Okay. Now, Nigerian, while I'm looking this up, you have a very kind of like unique sound. Like your songs that you submitted for the showcase, they're all three of them were, each one was a little bit different. Like what do you have like a certain like are there certain artists that you like look up to or like, do you kind of keep it just like your style?
It's funny. I I feel like visually I take after a lot of artists, but sonically not so much. Cause I'm just like a mixture of a lot of things. I'm a writer, like my trade first, so like sometimes my brain may be be in the head of a different artist. I might make something that sounds something similar to what they may make,
Mhm.
depending on how I'm feeling that particular day. Um, but yeah, no, I think visually, like I think a lot of people I looked up to as far as in the pop space would be people like Gaga, people like Melanie Martinez. Um, I'm trying to see what's another one. I like really just like outrageous art. There's this guy named Youngblood in the UK. I think he's really dope.
Young
So
Blood.
yeah, few people. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All I know is Young Bleed. I don't know. He's a newer artist.
Um, I found out. I don't know exactly how long he's been around, but I would say he's been out for about at least 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay. I get that's not new anymore
And he
nowadays.
wouldn't sound like anything you would think he would sound like either.
Oh, with yeah, because my mind just goes to Young Bleed, but you know, I'm old, so. All right, this
Old
is
is a
our
state of mind.
what's that?
Old is a state of mind.
Oh, facts. All right, this is Our Lady of the Streets.
Once upon a time, I dreamed about a fairy tale romance. Even though she was your mother, will I ever love you like she did? You got me undercover. When we're undercovers in my bed, they think that I'm a sucker, but this was all part of my plan. Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets.
I gotta pause it for copyright stuff. The fur coat is very Lil Kim core.
I had to
Yeah,
close. It was started snowing that day. I was like, perfect.
yeah, right. At least it wasn't hot. Yeah, that's like a mob boss coat right there.
Yeah.
I'm still listening, but I gotta turn my washing machine off. It's driving me crazy. I'm listening though.
Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets. We could be a couple, or I can keep pretending we're just friends. I remember that Friday night, take you down a memory lane. Said you love me that day, but it's like you don't know me today. It shows you wanna still keep me on the low. Disgrace, super fly. Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets, Our Lady of the Streets. Super fly, you can't match my high. Super fly, you can't match my high. High, but I can't remember the last time I cried.
It's so gangster. I love it.
So I made that. Remember I was telling you about when I first started making beats and I was using GarageBand on my iPhone. I
Yeah.
made that on my iPhone on GarageBand.
Wow.
I recorded it initially on my phone, but then I flew to New York and I mean there's recording studios here, but I was in New York and re-recorded it to get a
The
crispier.
vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Every single beat that you hear in the beginning, like the 10-minute countdown on this show, I made in BandLab.
Wow. I
Yeah,
didn't-
which for me, BandLab is like less storage space kind of version of GarageBand, but yeah.
yeah, I was watching them.
Nightary, you make your own beats?
No, I do not. I
Okay.
have this really weird. I don't want to say disability, but like when I got IQ tested, I have this weird thing from like my brain to my hand, to where it's like my brain moves faster than my hand does. Like they're not like really in sync. So things like
Okay.
playing instruments or like fucking with computers and stuff, it drives me nuts.
Like a hand-eye coordination thing.
Bro, that might be
Yeah.
instead of a disability.
That
I
might
don't
be
know. Yeah, it might be some kind of advantage. You might have like some kind of superpowers for real.
And this is very possible. Have not unlocked that level of life yet. Maybe when I'm 30.
I feel you. Yeah, you're a youngin. Um, what did I want to ask you something too? Like, what was your takeaway from like the showcase and everything, as far as like not necessarily like how we did. I'm not looking for like props or whatever insults either, but it's just like the artists that performed there. Was it?
I will say I was pleasantly surprised by a couple of artists. Um, and I like the fact that there were a few people that thought outside of the box when it came to presenting their art.
Mhm.
And it did, in a turn, make me a little bit nervous. Not too much, but just in the sense of I think usually when I step into a lot of artistry space, I'm always the sore thumb, and I'm always somebody very different. Even in this case, I think I still was, but I think the level of artistry that a lot of the people had, and a lot of people being more seasoned artists, I think made the experience a little more comfortable to me. Made the show feel, I don't want to say fuller. I feel like that's such a middle school word to say, but yeah, it gave the show more depth, I guess is what I should say.
Okay, okay. I just wondering, like, I tried to be as like have a wide range of types of genres of rappers as I could find, which it really, they all you all just came to me, so it was fairly easy, but it was pretty varied, right?
Um,
No?
the only reason why I'm gonna have to disagree with that because I do, just for me personally, because like, I've been doing music since I was like 9. So
Mhm.
like just from doing showcases, it's another one of those things where once again I feel like for me, even when I was doing rap music, because I'm not even like really a rap artist anymore, but I do feel like even when it came to rap, you know what I mean, and people were always saying to be inclusive to other genres and stuff.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times it's because of what's popular. Unfortunately, you still get a lot of microwavable artists. You still get a lot of people that are just trying to keep up with trends versus people who are genre bending. And I feel like that's always the place that I stood in, where I felt like I was always bending different genres. So it's not necessarily rap, but it's not necessarily singing or pop, either. It's like a
Mhm.
mixture of a lot of things. So for me personally, I just don't feel like I've ever personally seen like a show that I've been to somebody that's just kind of like weird and quirky for like no apparent reason or just like like far left out the box. Everybody is still kind of like digestible in the sense of, oh, I can relate you to this person,
Yeah,
or I
yeah.
can relate what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I think you're just so different that maybe the bar's a little higher for you. And you as well, DG, because your style and everything, I've never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? I think you both are like really authentically you, and that comes across in your music.
Thank you. I think it's easier now. It's more common now, rather, because we're seeing an immersion. If I don't know if I'm using the right word, but some kind of like a takeover of indie artists, right? And for the first, we are hearing those indie artists who used to be, in their home studios and in their basements. We actually can hear them now in distribution.
Right,
And so, with that being said, we're not signed to any, and so we can do whatever the heck we want. And a lot
right.
of those artists who were signed and were known were probably just as different and creative, like Pink.
Hmm.
Remember, um,
Yeah, my cousin loves her. Shout out to my cousin.
what, huh?
That's my cousin's favorite artist. Like
Oh
she
yeah,
loves Pink.
I love Pink too,
I
Good.
love.
but I do want to combat your statement a little bit. Gigi, right?
DG.
Um, CG.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I do want to combat that to an extent. I do feel like yes, there is a bigger flux of indie artists, but unfortunately, I feel like because of that, we've developed this almost systematic or like industry way of what an indie artist is supposed to look like. If you look at an indie artist from like let's say the early '90s or early 2000s, you know what I mean? They were, just kind of like making do with what they had, and just kind of like just creating vibes, just kind of putting stuff out there. Versus now, I do feel like people expect you to look like you came from a label already, even though you're an indie artist. And that
It's
for
so much
me, I feel like
marketing.
is where
Yeah.
it's always been kind of tricky because it's like I don't really have any creative friends. I literally have to do everything myself. You know what I mean? I don't really have like no expensive cameras and things like that. And like because of things that have happened in my life, obtaining these things aren't the easiest either. But one
Right.
critique I do always get a lot of times with people is, oh, your sound quality could be a little bit better, or and I don't disagree, but at the same time, it's like I can only do so much with literally what I have.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
with
here we have DG makes her beats on GarageBand on her phone, and I was talking about using BandLab, so sometimes you can make do with what you got.
yeah, you got to if you want to do it, you gotta do it. I mean, and eventually, my quality got better and better. I have behind the scenes, and he's like, I don't change quality, but my quality has gotten better, better and better. There are some songs that I need to take down because I was just desperate in the beginning and just uploading,
Yeah,
not proper, but they just consistently about a better outcome. So
yeah. And I get what you're saying, Nigerian, about everyone kind of. I think that's kind of like a shift in culture that's going on because your perspective is a younger person, me and her older, and I don't want to say we're old, but older, and we came up from like if you wanted to hear about a band, like you have a local band or whatever, you would have to go see
Right.
them. You know what I mean? Or like buy somebody's mixtape out of their trunk.
yeah,
And now it's all about marketing, and I just think everything's more saturated. There's more indie artists, there's more kind of weird quirky artists, there's more mainstream. It's just more of everything, and it's overwhelming at times.
Well, it's a lot. And I will say for me personally, I do feel like artists that I will put myself next to, people you probably have never heard of these people like Ash Nico, Tierra Whack, or Melanie Martinez. These are people that are from the U.S., but their music really majority sells overseas,
Who
and
was the
like
first
are
one?
just
'Cause I've heard of Tierra Whack and Melanie Martinez. Who's the first one?
Ash Nico.
Oh yeah, I've heard of all those people. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, but most people in the U.S. don't know who they are, but
Really?
they do really, really well overseas. I'm not saying that they don't have a fan base over here, but it's not like how like they're not mainstream like how a Doechii is or how what I mean, Lizzo, like they're not like a big name because they don't perpetuate this certain type of image. But overseas, they're like, what I mean, like I don't want to say they're like Beyonce, but just in the same sense of how like Kelly Rowland was way bigger and more of a mainstream artist in the UK. Not saying Beyonce didn't have a spot, but Kelly Rowland wasn't as popular in the US. So just some people's artistry makes more sense overseas. I think.
I
I was
think. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, please.
I was just gonna say, UK loves me out there.
Say what now?
The UK loves me, the underground world. UK, but
Yeah.
underground world within the UK, they love me. They and I want to shout Red Eye Productions because from the UK, who kind of got me way started. Like I was throwing water in this ditch, but it wasn't moving. It wasn't moving, and he found me on Instagram. Got that wave started for me just by giving me free beats. Just trying to make a beat and mix down every time, and then just by giving me free beats, and then introducing me to his fellow producer friends, and yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like about who you know a lot of the time too, for sure.
Definitely is. And see, that's what was weird. Like, so when I was growing up, it was like the in between phase of like buying mixtapes still, but MP3s and like.
Oh, you froze up.
yeah, it froze on me too.
Yeah, I think I get what he's saying though. It was kind of the in between. It was like the iPod era, you know.
Yeah, the
The,
iPod.
what was that? LimeWire.
I don't know. I miss my Walkman. I girl in the hallway in the school hallways with the Walkman on. Hopefully he comes back. He's
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, and that's always a risky. I think he got off work recently, but we'll wait it out and see what happens. Um, And confession, I actually double booked this episode and I forgot. So this is my fault. I'm sorry, everybody. But I'm glad because he was supposed, yeah, he cut out. I know driving around like I-10 is not going to be conducive for. There he
But wait,
is.
back to what you just said, because that's just genius what you did. There you
Hey,
go.
My phone overheated. I had to switch phones. My bad.
oh, you're good. You're good. Sorry, what? DG?
Were you supposed to come on at the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern?
Um, well, so what I did, and I was confessing Nigerian what happened. So I double booked, and so tonight, I was like, well, I'll just say, come on, like at 8. We're central. You're central time too, right?
Yeah.
DG. Well, I know you are. You're my state. DG.
Yeah.
You're central. Okay. So so I don't have to like over explain it, but I was you were coming on at 8. I made the flyer and did everything. And then he's like, "Hey, am I still coming on?" I'm like, "Oh man." So I was like, "Well, why don't you just hop on around like 9?" And yeah, surprise.
That's hilarious. Well, you know what? I got to meet you. I'm gonna ask her for your handles on IG, and I'm gonna follow you right after this. So
Definitely, and I'll follow back too. But just really, I just wanted to finish my thought really quick. So I was saying about like growing up in a time where like SoundCloud was just like starting up. So me being a kid who wasn't like very popular, that's another thing when it comes to music. I feel like a lot of people usually get popular in their particular group or their particular city, and then they kind of take off from there. I
Yes.
was a military brat. So like every year and a half, I'm moving to a new city, and I'm always the only kid in the school that kind of like really fooled with music for real. And for a lot of kids, especially because I wasn't making like industry sounding music like ever. For a lot of, it's been a lot of kids, was into Lil Wayne and like rap music and stuff. So a lot of times, especially by other black kids, you know what I mean? I got my music was a way to target me. It was a way to make fun of me, unfortunately.
Right.
So you know what I mean? My music never really got any sentiment or any love. And it's like you're constantly developing as an artist, but nobody really ever sees your growth because you're not really from one particular place at all. Like even though I'm back in Louisiana now, I don't feel like my music really has a place to take off in Louisiana because I feel like when you look at the people that come from here, outside of the R&B singers who are primarily female, we have Kevin Gates, we have Lil Boosie, we have Lil, and I don't fit that image. You know what I mean? So for me, being from a place that I don't really resemble or represent for real, it's harder for me as an artist to like really know what marketing tactic really works for me when I don't even like I know who my audience is, but they're not in
They're
my
not where you
immediate
are.
grasp.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or my immediate reach.
I had this conversation with a lot of people in New Orleans and also people in Orlando where I was recently about getting outside your bubble. And being in New York is a bubble. However, it's a bubble that touches a lot of other bubbles. But New Orleans is very much like, it's closed off. That's part of the reason I want to come
Right.
down there because there's so much talent there, but no one else knows about it because they just stay right there. So I would.
Yeah, a lot of New Orleans people do not want to move. I've never understood that. They're very small-minded people.
Beautiful place.
Unfortunately, I love my city, but they don't think past the outside of these walls. And like
Yeah.
for me, that's where it's tricky because so for me, I went to Cali for the past 6 years, right? And California was a complete mind fuck for me. Excuse me, my bad, my mouth. I don't know if I can
So you
curse
can
on here,
cuss on here. You can
but
cuss.
it was it was a mind trip for me because being from the South in New Orleans, where with primarily black people, everybody called me white boy because I listened to rock music because I didn't really care for rap. I wasn't really into football, typical boy thing. So a lot of times I got called fruitcake and I got called white for these things. So
Mhm.
for the most part, I didn't really get along with my own race. I got along with a lot of other races, primarily other white kids. And it was shocking to me to move to a place like Los Angeles where you assume everything is free and liberal. You just kind of be whoever. It's like that perspective went from being you're too white to now you're too black to be anything but black.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I never realized how black I was until I went to LA. And unfortunately, now for me as an artist, it's you know what I mean, that's affected me kind of as a person. It makes me understand things that like Normani went through or things people like Kelly Rowland, probably the reason why Lil Kim looks the way she does now. There are
Yeah.
literally certain doors in LA you will not get in if you are a certain skin tone or a certain skin complexion. It's really, really weird out there.
Kind of like
Even when it comes
institute, right?
even when it comes to body image, the things that you choose to wear, you know what I mean? It really picked me apart as a person. And like I'm to a point now to where like I think back home in New Orleans I can hide a little bit I don't really bother people as much. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to get stuck here. But at the same time, I don't know where else to necessarily go. It's like I don't really want to go through that thing of being nitpicked and pulled apart again. That is antagonizing and takes so long to heal from. I don't think I have that in me again.
Well, look, I know you've been through a lot as a person, and I don't want to like, dwell on negative stuff too much, but I think I'm just going to give you some unwarranted advice as a older lady, I guess. I think, here's some old lady advice cuz it's like it's in my nature to like nurture and care about people. So you're young, right? And so you're kind of figuring out who you are, even though you know who you are. I'm not saying you don't, but I think where you fit into your tribe, like your people that are like you, that do the things you do, that like the things you like, you're going to find it. And it's like, I don't be too discouraged. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're in a place where you feel like you're not, people aren't accepting you aren't appreciating you. Just understand that these aren't your people,
Just tell yourself, because it's probably, I haven't heard your music, but I can just tell. There's something about you. I can just tell your music is great, and I'm gonna listen to it as soon as we get off here. Or maybe while we're on here.
Yeah, I can play some.
But just tell yourself that you're ahead of time, because that's probably the case, really. And
No, what's crazier than that is the case. Oh my God. I was just having this conversation with my best friend out today. I said, it is so weird. Like, I feel like if I would have been born 5 to 7 years later, the trajectory of my life would have been totally different. Because I was a kid that walked around with a camcorder and, wanted to make skits and do all these things. But the internet was not where it is now. Like, me and my sister had almost got picked up for like a gospel group some years back. Like, there's been a lot of things that have happened, but the internet simply did not exist the way that it exists now. That's why I say I grew up in this really weird era where it's like everything was still kind of old, but everything was kind of changing and morphing into what it is now. So for people who didn't like have parents who were like really directly behind them helping push certain things, it made things a lot harder even more because I was a minor. 'Cause like I said, I started recording at 9. I became an independent artist by the time I was 14 or 15 because even though I grew up in the church, I grew up in like a dual household type of thing. So like I had questions about things that were outside of the church. So like the whole church image wasn't really working for me anymore. And to see where I am to where I'm at now, people would swear to God I signed to Illuminati, but I did not. I didn't go.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about those bubbles too, is that there is a lot of like, closed-mindedness.
Yes.
I want to play a little bit. You have a couple songs on YouTube, and I'll play a little bit of one of them.
The one I have out right now that's like on Spotify and stuff is Holy Fuck. That's the only one
That's what I was gonna play. I was gonna play the video.
Okay.
Well, there's
okay,
no, but on YouTube.
There is a video to it. I just all of them have the same cover on it. I think it says featuring Metro West Media or radio edit on it, something like that.
Okay. Oh, I'm on the topic page. I hate that. Yeah, but so the single that you're doing with King Handsome, DG, and that comes out Juneteenth. Is that part of an album, or is it just a single standalone by itself?
No, it's a single, but we have another single now. No date. We worked on another single as well, and probably more. Maybe we will make an album one day, but it's just a single.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know if it was like on his album or your album or. Okay.
Collab. Got the radio edits, the everything. We got all that coming out.
Nice. That's another good piece of advice for artists coming up now. Like, do make your edited versions. Like, do release censored,
Yeah,
versions.
definitely.
I'm trying to find. I can't find it. Let me
Can't find the video.
Yeah. Let me try.
Holy Fuck radio edit. I think next to it. Yeah.
Okay, I think I found it. Yep, I found it. You got people in the comments. DJ Delphi BB, Tanya Jolly says LimeWire killed so many PCs. Facts.
Love you, Tanya.
All right.
We're just young, wild, and free. Young, dumb, and broke. We're just having a ball, living life like a dream. Surviving off Red Bull and ecstasy. We got time on our side, never reason to rush. Negative intake, we made it dust. We got cups in the sky, little fingers up high. Know that you're never too young to die. Be my friends we trust, we will never grow up. We ain't giving it all, please. I fell in love with a dream, wasn't quite what it seemed. You would think it was nightmares, the way you scream. So the mind of you, so dramatic. Thinking the worst when worse has happened. I'm
Copyright pause. Sorry.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, it's very jarring when I do that. This song is like such an earworm because I swear after the showcase and like before too, because I was like previewing people's songs, I was like, you know, it's an earworm. Did you say something, DG?
No, I was just saying fire and agreeing with you. It's super catchy.
Mm-hmm.
traumatized, you feeling lies. Hoping the devil don't take my life. I stay out all the time, I do not wanna cry. Hoping my life doesn't pass me by. Give it one more try, show resilience. It's hard living like it's 1 in a million. I'm okay, I'm just fine. Because starships were meant to fly. We're just having a ball, living life like a dream. Surviving off Red Bull and ecstasy. We got time on our side, never reason to rush.
Is this the video is excellent, by the way. Was that in New Orleans?
No, this was actually shot in Dallas.
In Dallas. Okay. I was like, I don't think that's LA, but
Yeah, no, that's Dallas.
cool. Cool. I like that song a lot. That's a dope song.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the next one that's coming out was the second song I did, Old Man. I'm low-key a little nervous about that one because, and the only reason why I'm nervous about it, even though I do think culturally, especially like, I don't know, especially like the things Kanye talked about happened with him and his cousin, and you know, things that happened to the group members of B2K with Chris Stokes and the whole Diddy thing going on. I do think we're in a climate where that type of song is needed and is very appropriate, and I think a lot of people will relate to it. I think for me though, like my music has always just kind of been about like my life experiences and like my feeling towards things.
Yeah.
But I've never once ever talked about my sexuality at all. And unfortunately, we kind of live in a climate where it's kind of like people kind of want to know, like they feel like it's their business. And so for me, I don't know. I wrote the song during like Pride Month last year, and I just know for me, like anything related to like being queer, unfortunately, doesn't like really have a positive connotation for me because it's related to so much trauma in my life. So like so that song was kind of me releasing part of the reason, kind of like why I don't really embellish really like within like the queer culture or anything like that for real, and why I'm a little at odds with myself about it. But I do think the song, I've heard that song is an earworm. What I also found is really interesting with that particular song is a lot of people hear it and don't realize what I'm talking about. I'm not a person that consumes music in the sense of I only hear the beat. I always hear lyrics. But a lot of people tell me they only hear like the melody and the beat the first 2 times they hear it. And then when they catch on to what I'm talking about, they're like, wait, what the fuck? So
yeah,
so
I
think that part of it
didn't
is
fully catch that. I didn't fully catch that. So yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes along with what I was saying about like finding your tribe and being you know, optimistic about, you know, finding your place in the world.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And
CG, you're in New York. Have you ever? Well, no, you're in Texas now. But how long has it been since you've been in New York?
Huh?
How long has it been since you've been in New York?
I go often. I'm going next month.
Have you ever heard of the Afro Punk Fest? I've always heard of that, and I feel like they would have so many people I would get along with there, but I've never gotten a chance to go. Have you ever heard of it?
I definitely have, but I've never been. I've never even gone to watch the ball drop. Like
That I can understand. That is you already said you don't like crowds, so that I can
Right.
understand.
Yeah, if you like going to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, yeah.
it's just like all those festivals and stuff. New York is literally a city that never sleeps. That's a fact. So
Love it.
we're partying, we're always something, and so when it's like a festival stuff like that, we're just like, okay, let the tourists come in for that.
Understood.
It's a little bit like
Understood.
New Orleans. Yeah. So a lot of people in New Orleans kind of stay inside
Eh,
whenever.
I wouldn't say that because New
No?
Orleans people they love being outside and like they. I'm not gonna say we love tourists, but you know what I mean. New Orleans people are very friendly and we're very
They
playfully
are.
aggressive. So like you know what I mean. Like we enjoy like being outside. We're very hospitable people. You know what I mean. We like feeding people. A lot of the locals, a lot of people will like probably try to sell plates or sell like little souvenirs and stuff.
Yeah, to make some
But
money
most
off
of
of
the city is out there drinking just with the visitors.
it.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's
I guess I know a couple of curmudgeons, that's all.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Aren't friendly. You say hi to a New Yorker while you're there, they look at you sideways like,
Yeah.
Yeah, LA is kind of the same way too. Like, there's certain things in LA I've never done. Like, I've never gone on a Hollywood tour. I've never hiked to see like the Hollywood sign. Like, a lot of people come out there and they're like, "Why ain't you taking me to do none of the fun stuff?" I'm like, "What do you mean the fun stuff? I don't like. What are you talking about?"
See the Hollywood sign right there. It's right there. Like, why would you want to go?
Yeah, like I wake up and see it out my window every morning. What are you talking about? Like, go to the Statue of Liberty for what? Like, she lives here.
Yeah.
I could relate to what you were talking about earlier. And like you said, not to dwell on negativity, but I could definitely relate because I got sent away when I was 12. Again, the age of 12, we were talking about my age 12 earlier. I got sent away to go live with my aunt in Miami. And there was the internet didn't exist. So all they knew was Caribbean. All right, what are you? I said Caribbean. Oh, you're Jamaican. I had a deeper tan, of course, because I'm in Miami. My hair is
Right.
curly. And then I moved to South Carolina for college. And they're like, where are you from? I'm like, well, Dominican Republic. And then they go, where's that? And I said, on the same island. And I'm talking about black and white people. So both sides, right? So I'm in the
Yeah.
middle. And then they're like, where's that? I'm like, on the same island as Haiti. They're like, oh, because they see you're Puerto Rican because J-Lo was out. And I'm like, no, I'm Dominican, man. Like, what the heck?
Right.
it was, I really didn't, I kind of dealt with it differently. Instead of letting it bother me, I really didn't give a F. Like, I was just like, all right. And because of that, I never really had a clique. I had my cliques. So I was cool with all the cliques and I was real cool with all of them. But, it didn't click together. So I had to go this clique and that clique. And
Yeah, see, I was one of those kids that I was just weird to a lot of kids, I think. And I was usually I was at the misfit table. It was like two computer geeks, somebody that was too into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There was one interracial couple, and there was this guy that sold all the drugs at the school that was a straight A student, wore overalls, yeah, backwards as hell. And I sat at their table. We were an odd bunch.
I can't
I was
remember.
definitely one of the misfit kids.
Same. I can't remember what the reason was. I think it was because I got in trouble. Like, I don't remember, but I was actually in special ed at one of my schools, one of the 4 high schools I went to. And we didn't move around. So, and the special ed class was really just like pregnant chicks, I noticed.
that was
Oh my
They were-
God, that's
they were high school.
insane. That is insane.
I was in a Catholic school for a year. I got kicked out of it. That was all females, and it was just like, all right, you should have left me in public school because the girls there was crazy out here.
For real. Yeah. Well, it sounds like all of us kind of had a non-typical high school experience, but that's just high school. I think a lot of people get hung up in it and just stay reliving their high school, like, oh, high school, like move out of your city and do something,
And you put it in the.
But I mean, in today's economy, though, I can understand why everybody want to sit still. Cause it's
But
there's a big part of me that craves stability. I think, cause to an extent, I was raised on being stable to an extent, even though we never were. So it's like in turn, it's like subconsciously. I think a lot of times I'm constantly moving around. But then I think what I want to do with my life, like I said, I know it's not going to happen here. It's like it's forcing me to have to kind of like move around, shake a whole bunch of different hands until I'm just like, okay, this place will work. So
You got to be uncomfortable before you get comfortable, or something like that. Whatever the saying is.
I always tell people fear is the first step to evolution, and that's pretty much
There
what
you
it
go.
is.
There you go. That's much better said. Um, well, let's see. She's back. Okay.
Yeah, I was just turning on the light. But if
No,
you
you're
guys
good.
have time because you double booked, I can drop the call because I don't know how I've been
No,
on.
no. I'm good. Like, if you want to keep going either way, like, it doesn't matter.
I don't care.
That's to both of you. And I apologize. I owe y'all each a separate episode. You know, I'm glad that y'all got along, because there are some people that I've had on here that would probably be like, "Oh, yeah," you know. So
You know, sometimes people's ego is just too big for their own following, and it's sad, unfortunately.
right. Well, thank y'all for being cool.
Most definitely. So, CJ, you have any new projects getting ready to come out?
Yeah, we were talking about UFO with King Handsome. King Handsome
Oh,
right now.
that's the single coming out.
Yeah, with this great. He's an awesome performer. Like his performances, he's like a natural. And right now he's on tour with 38 Special and Benny the Butcher and all them.
He
And
was on
so
tour. Yeah, he was on tour with Redman. No, not Redman. Tash from the Alcoholics, and
yeah,
Farside. And Tash told him, or said to the audience, I guess, that he reminded him of Old Dirty Bastard. And I was like, okay,
I
like you, because he's in
haven't
my
heard
top
that
5
name
too.
in a minute.
you
Yeah.
know what? I was telling him, I'm like, they compare me. All of my songs are different. So you saw that Our Lady of the Streets. You
Mhm.
played on the promo that you posted on IG, bikes, planes, and automobiles. But
Yeah.
all of them are different. They just because I do what I feel at the moment. And
Right.
sometimes I was recording one time at a studio and the engineer starts laughing. I'm like, don't laugh. And he goes, "You sound like Old Dirty Bastard though." I'm like, "Old Dirty Bastard." And I get Wu Tang a lot. I get Wu Tang so much. I don't.
Huh.
I,
I could see that. I could see that. It's kind of like that grungy 90s,
yeah.
but
Yep.
that's my favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Real quick on the Wu-Tang tip. So I gotta give a quick shout out to MC Search, who's been doing this like thing on the app Whatnot, where he's selling his different items that he has. He was at the Wu-Tang and Run the Jewels concert the other day on Tuesday, and I was like moderating his live, and I got to see. I wasn't there, but I got to see like live on the screen, like Method Man, like oh, like RZA and Raekwon and everybody, Ghostface. It was pretty dope. So there's a good possibility I might be going to Denver on July 4th to go see them, which I'm just like over the moon about.
Awesome. Number third. I was telling my daughter about MC Search this afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, because I saw him on stage. I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, I followed him. I was like, man, there he goes. Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah, they were the thing back in the day. Like, I think a lot of people that are younger might know him more from like his VH1 shows, like the White Rapper show and stuff like that. Do you know who that is? MC Search, Nigerian? He's in the dark.
No, I can't say I've heard of that guy.
Okay, that might even be like I would say like maybe mid 2000s, but
You know, I'm gonna admit something about myself. Like even when I was making rap music, I don't think I ever was the biggest rap fan for real, but I felt like that's what I was supposed to do, if that makes sense. Like I do feel like I have skills in rapping, yes, but I don't feel like I was ever really into the genre. Like the main people I used to listen to were I used to listen to a lot of East Coast people like Jay-Z, my pop used to listen to the Clips, Kanye West, like a lot of like Rock Nation, and then like I got into like B.O.B. Lupe Fiasco. Like I was like very particular about like the type of rap or the rappers that I listen to, at least from coming up. I never really got a chance to really dig into anything like in the 90s. It never like fully grabbed my attention for real.
But do
But
you remember the
yeah,
White Rapper show?
the White Rapper show.
Yeah, it was on VH1. You probably were like a a preteen nursing. It was a big deal. And then he had the Miss Queen Rap Supreme or whatever. That's where Kia got her kind of launch into stardom. My Neck, My Back, Kia.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was the host of that. So that's where a lot of people know him from. But anyway, cool dude. But yeah, let's regroup at at a later time, and I'll give you guys your appropriate time slots.
Bet. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't want you to think I forgot about you this time. I know last time I had work and things got wonky and crazy. So I said, let me not forget this time. I had the law. I told you I had everything set. So I was I was ready to go. But
You're like,
it was dope speaking to you. It was dope meeting you, CG.
DG,
I'm gonna get to. Oh, DG. I'm seeing it now. I'm such a blonde. I'm so sorry. DG. Okay. And I got a gap in my mouth. Does not help. Jesus Christ. But okay. She'll give you all my information. I'll follow you back. It was dope meeting you.
All right, cool.
Bye. One love, guys.
All right.
Later.
We are out of here. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, DG. By the way, does DG... Okay, bye.